Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing really well in your lives. So, I am here tonight to take up another important topic, and this time I'm bringing for you reading time management tips. Now, this has been really a requested one, so definitely I'm taking up all those tips through which you can well manage your time while solving your reading questions. So let's take up everything one by one. What all is there in the reading module and the other tips. So let's begin. So straight away, let's come to the reading module details. Now, how much time do we have to handle this entire reading module? We have one complete hour, guys, 60 minutes. How many passages? Three passages. Now, these three passages will be of progressive difficulty. So, the first passage will be an easy one, and as you move ahead, you will keep having difficult passages. Now, across these three passages, 40 questions will be divided. 1 mark each. So, total marks for reading module would be 40 into 1, that is 40. No negative marking. Yes, guys, please remember this. Now, as we know that reading also will be having two branches, one academics and the other general. Now, when it comes to reading, guys, similar to the writing module, it is a bit different for both the branches. First, let's take up the academic one. So, the academic reading will be having all the academic content. These passages will be out from the standard journals, some standard books and magazines. So, the entire module of academic reading is testing your ability to understand whatever is present in this academic material. So, whatever content is there in your passages, that would be of academic nature. And when it comes to general reading, the entire passage would be related to everyday life of the English culture, the general and the social life. The passages will be out of newspapers, advertisements, handbooks, guidelines, notices, and all that. So, general English lives. Now, when it comes to the passage quality, it is also different for both the branches, that is, academic and general. Academic passages will be difficult than the general ones, and because the academic passages, guys, are difficult, the marking for the academic module is way on an easier front, whereas the general marking would be a tougher one. So, for example, if you are an academic test taker and you want to achieve band 7 for your reading module, you should have minimum 30 answers correct. Whereas, as a general test taker, if you want to achieve band 7 for your reading module, at least 34 answers should be correct for you. Got it? So there's a huge gap of 4 marks when it comes to the marking for general and academics. So all this you have to keep in mind because this is the basics of the reading module, guys. Okay? Now let's move ahead. Let's come to the time management tips. Now there are certain things I'm going to talk in this video which will definitely help you big time when it comes to managing your time while solving the reading questions. First thing first, guys, get this straight in your heads. We never read the passage first. We always read the questions first. The reason behind this strategy is that when you go through the questions, you get an idea of the content of the passage. And when you already know what is there in the passage, it becomes really easy for you to expect things in the passage and, of course, to solve the questions. Okay, however, please keep in mind, don't start answering the questions immediately. Guys, don't do this mistake that you're reading through the questions and you want to solve and you go back to the passage and start. No, please don't do that. Please read the questions. While reading the questions, you're going to do something which I'm going to take up a bit later. But please understand, we are going to cover reading all the questions first. Then we will take time to skim read the passage. What is skimming? I'm going to talk in a short while. But just for now, understand, we will read the questions first, the passage later. Second, read through the title and subtitle. Guys, if you have the passage which is having some kind of title and the subtitle, please do not ignore that. Your title and the subtitle will tell you the type of the text, whether the text is descriptive one or a discursive one. Now, what is that? If it is descriptive, that means some kind of description is going on. So a lot of factual information is there about some names, some years, some dates are there. Okay, it might be in a chronological order because again, dates are coming. For example, the life and work of Marie Curie. So this is going to have a lot of details. Similarly, the history of glass. Again, something is going on about the history. So of course, the chronological order will come in place. Next, discursive text. So it could be having some kind of problem solution structure going on, some theory evidence type of thing going on. For example, you can have a title like, Is there anybody out there? So that could be your main title. Whereas you can also have the subtitle as The Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. So if you join both of these, you'll understand that by anybody, we actually mean something about aliens. So please go through the title and the subtitle, that is very important. So we have to take the questions first, and we cannot ignore the title and the subtitle. Then, moving ahead, we cannot spend a lot of time on one question, guys. Please keep that in mind. In total, we have 40 questions to handle. So for us, 34 questions might be really easy, but some 6 to 10 questions would be quite difficult for us. In that case, guys, please don't focus a lot on these tough questions. You can always go back at the end and tackle these really difficult ones once again. So make sure you're not running out of time because you have 40 questions to handle. You need to manage your time effectively. So spend no more than 1 minute per question. Now come to the other one. Read the introduction first, conclusion next, and body paragraphs the last. Please understand, guys, what is the best way to approach the passage? It is always to read the introduction first. Why? Because generally, whatever main idea, whatever general idea is there of the entire passage, that will be somewhere there in the introduction. Okay, so if you go through the introduction, you're kind of having the idea what are you expecting throughout the passage. After introduction, if you straight away go to the conclusion, that main or general idea will kind of get confirmed. Now, when you are already having the idea about the entire passage in mind, you know what you have to, as I said, expect through the passage. So it is similar to reading the questions first so that you know what is coming in the passage. So always read the introduction first, straight away go to the conclusion and read it afterwards. Then at the last, you need to read the body paragraphs. Now, introduction first, conclusion next, and the body paragraphs. This entire process should not take anywhere more than 5 minutes, guys. If you're taking more than 5 minutes on this thing, it is definitely going to harm you. Okay? So don't do that. Now let's move ahead. Another strategy that I want to discuss is don't read every sentence. Of course, it is humanly not possible for us to go through each and every sentence when it comes to handling the reading section of IELTS. So please understand there's a strategy or there's a method called skimming. Now, what is skimming, guys? When you read the entire text quickly, that means just a quick glance is what you give to the text in order to get the general idea. See, we eventually have to get the main idea. What is getting discussed through the entire passage? That is the main idea. Okay? So for that, we need to just glance through the entire passage instead of reading one by one each and every word of each paragraph. Now look for the main ideas which are usually near the beginning of each new paragraph. So if you focus at the beginning of each new paragraph, you will understand that you can actually get to the general idea of each paragraph. Once you get the general idea of each paragraph, you can weave those general ideas together in order to get the main idea of the entire passage. So what you have to actually do, one by one, you will take each paragraph and you will just go through the first sentence and the last sentence of each paragraph. What is actually getting done here? When you read through the first sentence of each paragraph, you're kind of having that general idea. When you read the last sentence, you're kind of confirming the general idea. Okay, once it is done, rest of the portions of each paragraph can have a quick glance. Now, through this quick glance, you will get the supporting points, again confirming your general idea of each paragraph. Now, once you have the general idea of each paragraph, as I said, you can weave them together. Okay, so read the first sentence and the last sentence of each paragraph, get the general idea, weave the general ideas of each paragraph together to get the main idea of the whole passage. Okay, so you don't have to read each and every word and sentence. Final sentence, as I said, can help you to confirm whether the main idea is the correct one or not. Now see guys, why am I focusing so much on the main idea? Because this is the point on which all your answers are depending. Your answers are related to the main idea, not to anything else, guys. Okay, so finding this main idea is very important. So keep this thing in mind, the art of skimming. I will for sure talk about this and other strategies related to reading in my upcoming videos. So keep looking for it. Other than skimming, there is another strategy, guys, and that is scanning. This is really important method. Why? If you remember, when I was dealing with the questions first idea, I told you about skim read. Okay, so this is about the skimming thing. And now, while you read, you're doing certain things, guys. What are you doing? While you read, you mark the keywords. Now, what are these keywords? The moment you trace any name, it could be of a person, of a place, some organization, they could be numbers, figures, or they could be adjectives, adverbs. They could be anything. If they are some of these, mark them. That means underline them. These are going to be your keywords. Keywords because they are going to help you locate your answers. Now, what are you going to do with these keywords? These keywords you need to locate in the passage. So you will mark them, you will underline them while you read the questions. Please remember, guys, we never mark the keywords in the passage. We mark them in the questions. Okay? So once you underline the keywords, you need to locate these keywords in the passage. Please remember, names cannot be changed. Numbers, figures, adjectives, adverbs, these cannot be changed. So they are very easy to locate in the passage, and that is the reason they bring you closer to your answer. Okay? Similar is the case with any technical term. Technical terms are usually the ones which have some kind of definition. So this definition, this technical term cannot get changed. Again, helping you to get closer to your answer. So when you know that I have these keywords, I can definitely save my time, right? So marking them is really helpful. Now, apart from these, there would be other words which are not specific, guys. Now, whenever there are non-specific words in your question, in your sentence, please understand they will be paraphrased. They will be written in some other way, in some other form. So have that open mind, okay? When I was talking about true, false, I was telling you about what is paraphrase. So do check that video out. So let's move ahead after skimming and scanning. See guys, knowing the type of the questions and the strategies attached to those particular types is really a helpful strategy. Why? Because when you know that, okay, this is a short answer question, I need to skim, scan, and remember other things like I have to focus on my spellings and grammar, I have to have an open mind for synonyms, for paraphrase information, I need to mark my keywords, and I have to follow instructions. Short answer questions, how many words are allowed, if numbers are allowed or not, if numbers are allowed, how many numbers are allowed. All these things, if I know that I have to keep in mind, I will be having this trained mindset. So of course, it's going to save me a lot of time while handling the reading module. Okay, so for all kinds of questions, you need to focus on certain things, which are of course common. Number one, as I said, instructions. Guys, how many words are allowed? Sentence completion, summary completion, flowchart, notes, table. How many words are allowed? Short answer questions also. Numbers are allowed or not? If numbers are allowed, how many numbers we can write? Look for all those things. So instructions are really important, never ignore them. Then as I said, scan. What are you going to scan? Only when you mark the keywords, right? So marking the keywords is really important. As I said, non-specific information would be paraphrased. So we have to have that open mindset to look out for synonyms different words with similar meanings, or some things that can be written in some other form. Of course, spellings and grammar is way more important than we can think of. Apart from all these things, there are certain other things that we have to keep in mind depending on the type of the questions. So let's check what all are those. First, short answer questions, sentence and summary completion types. For these three types of questions, guys, all these are important. Other than that, skimming. That means reading the first and the last sentence of each paragraph to get the general idea. Weave the general idea together so that you can get the main idea of the entire passage. Apart from skimming, scanning. So when you're marking the keywords, this is what you have to use to come closer to your answers. Then multiple choice questions, MCQs, guys. See, whenever it comes to MCQs, we know process of elimination works like a magic. So circle all the possible answers. So while going through the questions, if you feel that this can also be the answer, that can also be the answer, circle all of those. At the end, you'll understand that you'll be having the final answer. Another thing for MCQs to keep in mind is that the word is never the answer. A lot of people commit this mistake, guys, so please keep this in mind. For MCQs, correct option is going to be your answer that you have to write in your answer sheet. Please don't write the word. For example, A has some word written in front of it, B has some other word. What usually students do, they write in their answer sheet the word which is written against the letter. Whereas the real way to answer it is writing the correct option, that is A, B or C, and not the word. So make sure you're not doing it, guys. Another type of question is your note completion, table completion, flowchart completion. For all these are important. Apart from these, skimming, scanning. And one more thing is important, guys. See, you need to understand what part of speech is required for the blanks. Whether a noun is required, a verb is required, adjective is required. What is required, guys? How will you get it? Even for sentence completion and summary completion, this part of speech strategy can work. Around the blank, whatever is written, everything is going to help you get closer to your answer. Suppose there's a blank, but right before the blank, an article a is written. Not an, not the, simply a. So you know that in your blank, you're going to have a word that starts with a consonant sound, not a vowel sound. Again, it has to be something common, not something in particular, because there is no the. A is there, which is for common things. Another example could be an. So you know that the word that is coming in the blank is definitely starting with a vowel sound. Similarly, adjective. So the information surrounding that blank will tell you that some quality word is going to come in your blank. Okay, so it definitely has to be an adjective. Now next, we come down to another kind of question, and that is true, false, not given. This is what we have already made a video on, so do check it. Once again, I am reiterating everything. True, when we know that the information is present in the passage plus the same meaning. False, when the information is present in the passage but that information is opposite in nature. Not given, when the information is either totally absent or partial information is there in the passage. Please remember, this information might be paraphrased, so written in some other form. If you remember this strategy, yes, no, not given, true, false, not given, all these kinds of questions you can easily tackle. Do watch the video. Moving ahead, another type of question is matching headings or matching information. Again, information might be paraphrased, so keep that open mind. Skim and scan can be your strategy. Please remember that extra headings and information statements could be there. So for matching headings and matching information type of questions, guys, definitely you would be having more headings than the paragraphs in the passage. In the information matching questions, you will be having more information statements as the questions compared to the number of paragraphs in the passage. So why they are more in number? Just to distract you, nothing else. So if you know that, okay, I will be having extra of these, you will never get deviated. Okay, you will have that mindset to approach these type of questions in that particular way. Another type of question is diagram labeling. For these, skimming and scanning. Along with that, instructions. Yes, guys. So how many words are allowed? How many numbers are allowed? Everything matters for diagram labeling. Then we have map-based questions, for which we know instructions are important. How many words, how many numbers are allowed? Along with that, it is about map, guys. We cannot avoid the entrance, because entrance is the point we are starting from. After that, we have to deal with directions and positions. North, northeast, southeast, southwest. Positions: behind, at the back, in front of, opposite to, across. Okay? So all these things matter. So we will look out for such words. This is how we will tackle each type of question. So if you just keep all these things in mind, you're training your brain in such a way to approach the questions meticulously, right? So definitely you will save a lot of time, guys. And remember one extremely important thing, and that is, please train your mind. Please remember this. What are the type of questions, the answers for which come in order, and which are the questions for which the answers do not come in order? So for true, false, or yes, no, not given, answers come in order. Sentence summary completion, order. MCQs, order. Note table flowchart completion, order questions. Short answer questions, of course, order answers. The ones for which answers do not come in order, matching headings, because of course, random headings for random paragraphs. So definitely they're not going to be in order. Similar is the case for information matching. Then diagram completion. So there's one diagram, there are different parts that you have to label. Of course, they cannot come in order. So an easy way to remember this is to just remember the answers do not come in order for these three. Apart from these three, for every other type of question, answers come in order. So this is what I actually had to talk about reading time management tips. Now, if you just go back and watch the video over and over again, you can understand how to well manage your time, guys. If you have any issues regarding this video, you know where to reach me out. You can reach me out on Instagram, Malvika Educator. You can message me on Facebook, Malvika J, or you can even mail me, malvika.educator@gmail.com. Please do not forget to share the Telegram group ID, Malvika J English, because this is the place I interact with you all through. Plus, I give you a lot of content, a lot of sample answers, questions. Also, when you come to this ID, you will get a link for a group, which is a chatting group through which you can directly give me your suggestions. If you want me to make some particular videos, you can tell me there. Of course, you can do that in the YouTube comment box also. So keep doing that, guys. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep sharing the knowledge, guys. I'll come soon with another video. Till then, take care and good night. Ta-da!